So, next movie review of the day is going to be for the film The Killer. And no, not The Killer from 2023 there, the Michael Fassbender film that was David Fincher. We got John Woo's The Killer there. And this is movie came out this year, came out on Peacock there. So if you do have the 50 gazillion streaming services or one of them and you got Peacock, I'll tell you, maybe you want to know if you should check out this movie or not. So The Killer was a remake of John Woo's 1989 film there, which actually I have not seen. Have you seen The Killer 1989 before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And apparently it's one of his classic films there.
It is
Uh,
regarded as one of the best action films of all time. I I take it in place as they're almost neck and neck between that and Hard Boiled. I think that's some of the greatest action movies ever made.
mm, yeah, I have not seen this myself. I've seen Hard Boiled. I've seen that one, but I have not checked out The Killer
I would
myself.
highly recommend the original.
Yeah, and yeah, I would love to, yeah, check it out there. So, and John Woo, we talked about his movie, which also came out. He had a movie come out last year, wasn't it? The Silent
Yes.
Night
Yep.
as well with Joel Kinnaman. And big kind of takeaway from that was that it was just kind of meh, really. I
Yeah.
mean, the concept of the whole Silent Night thing, and
They had a great concept.
yeah, and just kinda didn't really work out so well, I don't think, and it was kinda just, like, kinda stepped away from it. It's like some of these action scenes are pretty solid,
Mhm.
but, as far as character investment, as far as that kinda goes, just kinda felt lacking, on that part. So, like I said, you have a remake of his film there from 1989, but different leads and different kind of setup here. So in this, it's Natalia Emmanuel who plays Z there, who is a professional hit woman who works for Sam Worthington's character. She gets the jobs, carries out the hits, but she's got kind of a little bit of a code there. She's all about, hey, I don't do civilians. You know what I mean? I only kill people that are part of the game. That's kind of her whole thing. And then she has a detective chasing her down, who's played by Omar Sy. Omar Sy, people might know. I think we reviewed that show Lupin, that was on Netflix, which I
Yes, we
liked him.
did.
Which I liked Lupin. I liked him in Lupin. I think he's pretty charming. He's a pretty charming actor. Omar Sy is Natalia Emmanuel. People might know her. She was in, of course, Game of Thrones. She was in that. She's also been in the Fast and Furious franchise as well. There and yes, so he's the cop that's trying to bring her down. She's the hit woman there. Things kind of come ahead, trying to also, kind of crack this kind of conspiracy kind of going on in the underground crime world there. Person kind of just a normal civilian kind of thrown into this is the woman Diana Silvers, who's the actor there. She was in that movie. What was that movie called there? You probably seen her around before. She was in a movie called Ava. There, she was in that, which was that Jessica Chastain movie. People
Mhm.
have seen her in that as well. And she was also in Booksmart. She was the love interest in.
Oh, she was in Booksmart. Okay.
Yeah, she was the love interest in that movie
Oh.
as well. So yeah, she's just wrong place, wrong time. There, she's the singer at this club. There's a shootout. Then she ends up kind of falling back, hitting her head, and going blind. So Natalia Emmanuel's character kind of feels a little bit sympathy. Kind of is like, okay, I got to look out for this girl. Kind of take, you know what I mean, and kind of, that's always the thing in hitman
Mhm.
type movies. There's a child or somebody like that it brings out the person's softer side. It's like they're a hardened killer, but they have a soft spot maybe for a person that, you see the more human side of them. Yeah. So, John Woo, master of action, from his movies like The Killer, like Hard Boiled, Face Off, very, very legendary director. And I was excited for Silent Night, in last year
Mhm.
because I was like, hey man,
Yeah,
John
me
Woo's
too.
back. That was like his return to American cinemas. He'd been gone for a minute. Like his last American movie, I think was Paycheck was his last American film there,
I
and he
Yeah.
was kind of back after all those years with Silent Night, and then for that to kind of just be, I was kind of left disappointed with that. And I gotta say, it's the same thing with this, with The
Mhm.
Killer. It's just kind of another kind of meh action film from John Woo, really.
That's what I was afraid of.
It's it's some okay action scenes. Even with, I think the Silent Night action scenes were better than this. Um, Natalia Emanuel, I don't think she's that convincing as an action lead there. I don't know. She's not that imposing there, and a lot of the kind of stuff they have her do, just not that interesting for me. The whole kind of set up the story, even if you have kind of a generic story, you could still make it work.
Mhm.
Just based on the performances and based on actual the writing there, or just based on the action, just can be so stellar that it just rises all above that. The character that Sam Worthington plays, you see where his character is going a mile away. That's not that
Mhm.
interesting. You see what's going to happen there with that relationship between her and him. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of another disappointing kind of John Woo film that you have there. And the difference of the setting, the difference of kind of the actors really doesn't change much. And I like Natalia Emanuel. I root for Natalia Emanuel a lot. To see her kind of do some different things and more break out of just being the woman from Game of Thrones. And I do like her in Fast and Furious as the hacker. I think she's decent in that as well. But yeah, I just kind of wanted better for her in this that you kind of got. And a lot of the action scenes, nothing that's like really wow. I mean, like you said, I think we even mentioned this in when we talk about Silent Night, is that the game for action movies is kind of the bar has been raised a little bit.
Yeah, really high at this point.
With stuff like John Wick and then all the other kind of John Wick.
Even by John Woo himself.
Yeah, so it's just kind of the bar is kind of high now. I mean, it's still the John Woo tropes that we see, the two guns firing, the doves, because it's like that's his thing. He's got to have the doves in his movies there. Or when somebody's kind of just the slow motion stuff there. It's like okay, the classic John Woo kind of tropes here. It just doesn't hit like they kind of used to there. So for me, I just give it a I mean, I think it's fine where it is on Peacock, on a streaming service. If you maybe just wanted a somewhat decent shoot 'em up, maybe this will satisfy that for you. So I give it just a plain kinda
Mm.
stream it, lower stream it there for me. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on The Killer.